And we are back. So, last we left off, the Emberfellas had survived an encounter with Cornath, the Corpse Maker. In fact, laying him to rest as the Necromancer had attempted to bind something into the body of their friendly neighborhood paladin, Zoltkar. With something being shackled beneath his flesh, possibly forever changing him, as he is cursed now. However, as everyone was being sliced down like wheat with the scythe, Brevrak and Atlas falling, Zoltkar falling to the last, Dayu standing, Rogar standing. The defeat of Cornath was delivered by Zoltkar with a decisive blow, ending the Necromancer's reign in this world. And we will pick up with what happened with that soon, I might add. However, after you had escaped from the Corpse Maker's abode, after collecting a few odds and ends, and discovering a particularly blackened bone piece of possible horn that Zoltkar decided to keep on his person, as well as some necromantic spell crafting components that he also tucked away. The five of you retreated to the Crooked Plank, where you set about resting, relaxing, recuperating from the events that have transpired, which in fact has led you to discover several murders have taken place that appear to be somewhat connected to Tezo and Declan in some fashion, as well as discovered a few other interesting facts about Port Girona itself and the Clan White Shroud that are now out in much more force than they were before. However, we are still doing endeavors. We are going to now shift over to the one and only Dayu. Dayu, what did your level up look like? And you will need to unmute yourself. Everyone is muted.
Because you muted us.
I did. I muted all of you for a moment.
I got quickened healing and
Okay.
slow fall, and my dex is 18 now.
All right, and dex moved up. So how did this look for Dayu? What did you do in this interim period to kind of raise that dex up?
Went to the Fool's Gold and did unarmed combat with people.
All right. That's fair. Quickening your reflexes, which will lead me to one point of order that will be important to Dayu. Specifically, this is Clan Night Blossom business, as Eldrin is none too pleased that you and your party ventured out to his necromancer, and you left, and then his necromancer was cut in half.
Not by choice.
He's not pleased. How do you explain these events to him?
I would have let the guy die. The party wanted to revive him.
Okay. How do you explain what happened with the Corpse Maker to Eldrin?
He fucked up.
What was he doing?
I don't know. Dark magic, and things started to attack us.
That's the name of the game. As Eldrin's red eyes flash for a moment.
Yeah, well, oh fuck, what does Han Solo say? Hokey religions and ancient weapons are no match for a good katana at your side. So I tap my katana.
Well, you cost me an earner. I'm going to need you to pick up the slack. And you are fighting for free for the next 2 weeks, Dayu, unfortunately, with that explanation. But you get off with a slap on the wrist, apparently.
Special son.
You are a bit of an earner. So, endeavors, Dayu, what would you like to do?
So, before a Black Shroud joined the party,
yes,
I was told by Colm Greybeard to avoid captains.
Mhm.
But he told me to talk to Caddick about the bounties.
He did give you specific instructions on how to approach Caddick.
He'd be at the Fool's Gold frequently at nighttime.
He said he does frequent that, but he was going to look into something in particular, and you never came back to call to talk about it. However, I will say this. In your time at the Fool's Gold, you have not seen Caddick appear, especially since the event took place in the Samurai District where you guys survived the ambush with Declan and Tezo. So everything was on lockdown. The Fool's Gold was closed even that day, if you'll remember. And he has not been back to the fishing district as far as you know, if you were to ask around.
Yeah, because I'd be talking to Elhana a lot.
Okay, yeah.
Um,
do you want to know his whereabouts? Do you want to learn anything about him? Do you want to use that as an endeavor?
Yeah, if I can, yeah.
Okay. I'll give you a choice of either investigation or persuasion.
Probably investigation.
Okay.
16.
Very good. Okay, so with a 16, you would find out that Caddick Blackshroud. You find out a couple things about him. First off, while he does have a weakness for gambling, apparently, you do discover that it's not so much a weakness as it is a feigned reason for him to visit the fishing district. And you find out that Caddick has been for a long time acting as a go-between beneath the radar for goings-ons between Clan Whiteshroud and the Mar. And he doesn't necessarily like to gamble, but he has been visiting the section of the city every so often in that capacity. However, he has not been back for quite some time, and that might be on purpose. You do know that he has been spotted in the docks, specifically visiting a certain warehouse that you guys are familiar with, as well as very frequently, in fact, at least once a week, sometimes twice, he has been visiting the Red Lotus that you guys are intimately familiar with as well. In fact,
he was supposed to be at that party.
He was supposed to be at that party, and that party was specifically being held for him. And if you will remember, he has a bit of a crush on a certain Earth Genasi geisha. So he frequents that.
Noted.
And he goes on particular days. It is a random day each week, but it is scheduled. So if you were to figure out the schedule, you would know where he would be.
All right. Second thing, he is going to talk to Elhana about Drow.
Okay.
Since his wife and child were Drow.
Yes.
And see if she knows any detect magic abilities on the trinkets that he pulled out of the fire.
Do you show her the trinkets?
Yeah, if they're worth pursuing anything on.
Okay. I'll say this, Dayu. Your wife was a full-blooded Drow. Elhana's a half-Drow.
She's the only one I know, though.
She's the only one you know.
I think.
Let me roll for her, actually, because this is important. She doesn't roll well.
Damn.
It's nice to see you're interested in our culture. You said, do you mention your wife, or you just show her the trinkets?
Yeah, I mentioned it to her. I am slowly starting to trust her for some reason.
This is interesting. I didn't think that you. Let's just say this is. Usually, there's a bit of a stigma associated with my kind, but it's nice to see that you look that over, Dayu. But as far as these keepsakes, I have not met too many Drow myself. I was born here in the city. Not not the best place to grow up, but it wasn't bad. I didn't ever meet my parents, but I was brought here by... Let me find this. She was brought here by members of Clan Dreamweaver, a member of the Mar. And with that kind of mention, Dayu, well, let's give me a history check, Dayu.
Oh shit, natural 20.
Okay, with a natural 20, you will know that Clan Dreamweaver they're in the trade of illicit drugs of many kinds, specifically the Ember that floats around, very popular amongst many other regardless. However, the more important thing about this is that a lot of these goods are moved by small numbers of Mar individuals. In particular, they are very well guarded. They're always very well hooded. They're always well covered. But the few that you have met, they give off, especially with your intimacy with your wife, you can tell with the way that they move, the way they hold themselves, the way they speak, that many members of Clan Dreamweaver are in fact drow. This is a very well-kept secret, because not only is Clan Dreamweaver very infamous for their drugs, they're also very infamous for their poisons and also for their assassins. Yeah, so you will learn a little bit about some drow culture as far as the Mar is concerned within the dynasty.
Do I get a contact or a location?
There is no house. There is no setup within Port Dorona for Clan Dreamweaver. However, Elhana will tell you that she knows that occasionally there are some assassins that moonlight within the Devil's Market that sell their trade there. So if you're looking for them, you might want to look into the Devil's Market. And these are in fact hired killers.
All right.
So you get that.
Lastly,
yes,
there is a mention of a turf war.
There was
happening.
There
between Giant's Blood and
Night Blossom.
Mm-hmm. Dayu, if he picks up that Tuk-Tuk's killer, is partaking in some of these turf war activities. Dayu will somehow institute the challenge of single combat to avenge Tuk-Tuk's death.
Okay. Let's put it like this.
He'll put the word out there and people can spread it.
Okay. You kind of put the word out. Now, I will say, Dayu, there has been an uneasy, there's not a peace. There's it's almost like a Cold War happening between the docks and the fishing district, where despite the activity of the guard, which are now even there are some guards that venture into the fishing district even where they've never gone before. At night, the place is still desolate. Everybody pulls back at night. There's been a increase in activity on both sides of both Clan Night Blossom and Clan Giant's Blood. And we will be getting into, because you did that in particular, we'll be getting into some interesting things when we pick up after everyone else's endeavors. But I will keep that in mind.
Dayu wants the whispers of the saint to be known that he's looking for him.
So
that was fantastic.
Speaking of the, formerly Tuk-Tuk, Atlas, what does your level up look like?
So I went back and forth, but I decided to just increase my wisdom by 2. So
Okay. Okay,
yeah.
so how
So,
does this look for Atlas? Like, what do you? Is
so
this more of like a contemplative kind of thing, or?
well, I wanted to ask you, and I got to lean on the DM a little bit, but
Mhm.
does are there followers of Mito that I would know about around the town, or where I need to go outside the town? Because I know that I grew up like, I lived on like a cemetery type area up
Essentially,
in the
yeah.
mountains type area,
Mhm.
in the wilderness kind of. And so I
Yeah.
would think I would want to go outside the city to do
Yeah.
some prayer,
I will
or I want
say,
to go to a cemetery and do some prayer.
yeah, I'll say this as well. You lived far to the north. You lived within the
Mhm.
Thundering Summits, above what is known as Silva Dore, which is the entry settlement that that you would know is actually a gateway for an underground civilization of Drow that have
Oh,
active trade with the dynasty. So you get another piece of Drow history here with the dynasty, since we're mentioning this, and your family comes from almost like a graveyard / mausoleum that you guys have been keeping for centuries up in the mountains, very far away from most civilizations. However, within the city itself, let's find out. Why don't you give me an investigation roll, Atlas?
investigation.
It's probably not
Ooh,
going to
I'm
be.
so bad at that. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, it's a 1.
Okay. So, Atlas, I will say, for the most part, there aren't a lot of priests, kind of like you. There aren't a lot of clerics of Mito. They're just wandering around. You are a very rare sight in period. And there aren't necessarily worshippers of Mito. It's more like people just kind of they pay respect to him when the time comes, and that's about it. There's no one that actively worships him as far as you know. Now, is there some kind of weird twisted cult out there that does? Probably. But as far as just looking for someone, not so much. But I will say, you might find comfort in a place of death, in a place of rest. Now, I'll give you several options as far as that's concerned. There is, of course, the untended graveyard left behind by Cornath, the corpse maker, full of probably unrested dead that may need to be put back to rest at some point. There also is a very well-kept graveyard within the actual castle, White Shroud, where there's a very large and well taken care of shrines and mausoleums to the fallen of the White Shroud clan. You might offer your services there. That's up to you. You're not a wanted man, Atlas. I will point that out. You could do that. There also is a area similar to that. Not as well kept, obviously, but it's in the Samurai District. It's more of a vast area, not as much wealth. But yes, a similar graveyard set up in one of these 3 places. Or, and this would be unconventional, you could offer your services at the docks for ships coming in from sea that have managed to take any of their dead that have died while they've been out at sea. And this is a bit of contention, as you will know, Atlas, that there is a duality between your god and another. There is the chaperone of souls, and there's the dredger of the deep. And you would know, Atlas, that as the history behind these gods goes that these were apparently at one point brothers that both wanted dominion over death. One, a guide, a shepherd. The other, I wouldn't say a tyrant, but close to it. And they went their separate ways, but there's still a grudge. And they both...
Which do I serve?
You serve...
The tyrant or the shepherd?
The shepherd.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
The dredger is the tyrant, and he has dominion over the water. So anyone that dies over water has their soul marked by the dredger of the deep to be collected by him. Now, how quickly this happens, no one knows. However, if you'd like to offer your services as a bit of a spit in the face of a rival god, you could attempt to perhaps protect and watch over some of these sailors as they're leaving port, giving a blessing of a sort that hopefully their souls won't be collected for whatever hell awaits them if they're collected by the dredger of the deep.
I think that as the Twilight Shepherd, so to speak, I would want to be either the samurai district that's not as well-to-do as the upper end area, or the place where people died, the first place you mentioned. What was it called again?
Cornath's, the corpse maker's graveyard.
Yeah, I'd say either that one or the samurais.
Okay. I'll say if you want to take up at Cornath's, no roll involved. If you want to get into Clan Whiteshroud's castle, we'll need a roll. If you want to take up place within the samurai district, there will also be a roll, but it won't be as high of a DC. Take your pick.
Can I ask what kind of roll we're talking about here?
It will be a roll. Let's put it like that.
I think the most advantageous thing is probably the White Shroud.
Yes. Yes. The worst that can happen is they can tell you no. That's the worst.
I guess I'll try that.
Okay. I'll tell you what. Give me I'll let it be your choice. You can either give me a religion or a persuasion check. I think religion is better for you.
Yeah.
You can guide yourself, Atlas.
Oh, let's do that. Yeah, let's do that. Thank you.
Add a D4 to it. So
Thank you,
that's the
DM.
thing.
All right, religion check. Fuck. It's not going to matter.
That's not good.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter what I add. Okay. It's D4. That's a 4, but yeah.
Yeah, so with a 7 total, unfortunately, Atlas, you go to offer your services at the castle. You make it to the gate, and you're in your full Penelope, your full attire, the shroud, everything. A servant of Mito, the chaperone of souls. And you don't get past the gate. They tell you that they have someone tending to the graves, and there's no need of your kind here.
I could go invisible, but I won't. I already rolled my dice. I'm good. No, I'm good. I rolled my dice.
Okay. So with being turned away from there, with a 7, I'm going to default you back to Cornath's graveyard. So you will spend your time there, putting the bodies at rest and then giving them rites. And in so doing, you will actually consecrate this graveyard, and it will no longer be a harbor for the undead after this.
All right.
So there's that. Now, is there anything else you'd like to do, Atlas? You get one more.
Oh, just one? Okay. I will. I got to choose now. I thought I had a couple. Quick question: Does Mito have a symbol that I would use? Is it the crescent from like my sickle?
It is. So Mito's symbol. Hold, please. Let me pull it up. Mito's symbol is, as soon as this opens,
If you don't have one, I think it'd be cool if it was
I
a
do have
crescent
one.
moon. Okay.
Mito's symbol is actually his lantern, burning green.
Okay. So I
You
had
could work
two
in a
things
crescent
chosen.
though, if you'd want. There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay. I'll say, I think what I would do, what Atlas would do, would probably be spending time with my new companions.
Okay.
To try to get to understand their goals.
Yeah.
And how I can help. I was going to say I was going to go look for some like a magical cloak or something, but I think the less selfish thing and the thing that Atlas would do would be get to know his companions, get to know their goals, and see how he could help.
Okay. All right. So
just spending time with them, talking to them.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind. We'll keep that in mind. Now, Atlas, speaking of goals, you also had a goal of your own. It involved a certain desecration and interesting event that happened at your home, which is why you're out and about to begin with, being the last of your line. Why don't you give me an investigation check, Atlas?
Always with the investigations, huh?
That's going to be a rolling thing here.
Not good. 5.
Okay. We'll say you don't make a lot of headway, though you've heard whispers and rumors that there has been a lot of activity in the port itself. And you don't get any feelings. Okay, yeah. You don't get much. You don't get any feelings from your god leading you in any particular direction as of yet. So with that, our last but not least, our paladin Zaltkar, who's undergone a significant change. Oh, yeah, you're still muted, Zaltkar, somehow.
No, I'm not.
There you go. I can hear you now.
Hold on. Yeah. So, on the surface, Zaltkar has gained the feat of crossbow expert.
Oh, okay then.
Yes. But for fun, I think maybe there's a crossbow school there in town offering a free lesson, and then every day for 2 weeks, Zal just goes in looking like someone else and keeps getting the same free lesson until because he's broke as fuck.
Yeah.
But by the 7th day, they're like, "Are you sure you need this?"
Okay. All right. We'll say.
But other than that,
I'll say this, Zaltkar.
Yeah.
You run across an interesting monk that's been sitting in the port. He doesn't necessarily have, or she doesn't necessarily have a name, but all you know is by the drapery of her robes, because she does in fact wear robes and raiments, that she hails from the Temple of Blades. And she has been challenging people in a feat of arms, and slowly but surely you keep coming back, and this particular monk apparently she enjoys a good crossbow, and so Zaltkar through trial and error and watching a true master at work gleans a bit of insight into how to use and manage said device.
All right. But more importantly, Zaltkar something has happened to this young paladin.
Yes, something has.
And in moments of contemplation, he may have let his guard down a little. He may have, some of his endeavors may have been an attempt to commune with this new built-in power.
Oh, really?
Oh, really? Yeah.
Okay. So it will also be important for the rest of the party to know that Zaltkar is he is cursed.
Possessed by a demon.
He is possessed by something. He's not exactly sure what it is. We'll let the rest of it just spill out as it does. Regardless, though, you feel a presence beneath the surface. I was going to make you do this anyway, but I'm going to need you to give me another charisma saving throw, Zaltkar.
What if you willingly don't want to make the save?
You can fail a save if you want to.
I want to talk to this thing.
Okay. Do you want to fail the save?
Yeah, let's fail this save.
All right.
Light this candle.
For a moment, Zaltkar, you feel something in particular, Zaltkar. You feel something while one of your times passing back from the docks after taking one of your lessons, and you pass by a rather scantily dressed woman, hobgoblin woman, and she is making her way through the docks. Looks like she's going in the direction of the Salty Bosom, which is in fact a house of ill repute. She looks like a working girl. It's starting to get later in the day, and you feel something, Zaltkar. You feel a pull. And
as one does.
This time, you don't fight it. You just kind of give in. Nothing talks to you, Zaltkar. You just give in. Let me roll real quick for this.
Okay. Oh, this is going to be good.
An hour later, Zaltkar comes walking back towards the crooked plank. There's blood all over your hands, Zaltkar.
Oh, no.
And Din, behind the bar, kind of looks you up and down. And as you walk through, you hear somebody weeping. And they come, Din, you won't believe it. They killed her. They strangled her to death. What are you talking about? It was Betsy. She's dead. And Din looks distraught. No! No! Pounds on the bar itself.
That killed Din's daughter.
Din's a bugbear, so no, it's not his daughter. But you can see he's visibly upset. And then you will come to find out, Zaltkar, that a geisha, quote unquote, was strangled to death in an alley outside of the Salty Bosom by an invisible figure. She was just sitting there holding her throat until the light was left from her eyes. The people were coming to investigate, and she just dropped dead as if a ghost snapped her neck and left. Zaltkar, you can also remove your invisibility spell for the day, but it's not going to matter because a day's going to pass anyway, so it's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
And you will probably come to recognize that if you fail your charisma save, that whatever's in you gets to wear the meat suit that is Zaltkar for a while.
Yeah. Kind of like the spirit of Jack the Ripper.
Now, I will say, with this coming forth, Zaltkar, would you like to attempt to learn more about what is happening or what has happened?
I would. I want to know.
I will need you to either give me an investigation or a history check.
Well, those are one and the same. So let's go with history just for flavor.
Okay.
Ooh, not bad. 14.
Okay, Zaltkar. All right. You would learn, Zaltkar, that many years ago, and you kind of learned this from Din because this has happened before. It happened a long time ago. In fact, Din says that it happened in his grandfather's time.
27 years? Every 27 years or so? Or
no. Grandfather's time. This happened 50, 60 years ago.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
There was a string of murders. Ironically, not exactly all too dissimilar from what just took place. And they called him the Strangler, is what they called it. They never found who did it. All they did find was that all the corpses were all women. Their throats snapped, and whenever the priests moved to consecrate the bodies, there was no soul to be found. There was nothing to deliver. And it went on for quite some time until a band of adventurers ventured forth into the city and claimed that they slew the creature and put it down, put it to rest, claiming it to be a noble from Clan White Shroud, a ancestor to the current clan that lives in obscurity. And he was said to be a purveyor of esoteric arts. And that's about all you're going to get with that role. There is more, but that's about all you're going to get with that.
Now, do I have any recollection, like any sense of my time under the control of this entity?
I will say, Zaltkar, what's unnerving about it is that as the force took over, you don't feel cold or heat any longer, and you felt a chill. And then you remember being shackled. You were back in a dark chamber, shackled to the floor, unable to move.
When I'm not in the driver's seat, that's how I feel. Okay.
Yes.
And presumably, the entity has access to my powers and abilities.
You might be able to make that assumption.
So there's a strangle hobo living inside me who can be invisible or look like anything else.
It can do lots of things.
Yeah.
He's found a very, very good host.
Oh yeah.
And if you remember, Cornath
work together.
Cornath was very excited about what he was doing, and he kept referring to it, bringing it back, and that he finally found somebody to put it in. And that's all I'll give you for that. So, is there anything else you would like to do, Zaltkar? You get one more endeavor, sir, before we get into juicy stuff that's going to happen with you.
One more endeavor. I would visit visit a temple to see, is there any, do I have any feelings?
Okay.
I feel like I'm probably feeling very, a spiritual.
There are 2 temples within Port Dorona.
Yeah.
2 official temples.
Yeah.
One of them being the Temple of Boel, the Tide's Call. Now, if you'll remember, it was not in a very well kept state.
It was not.
However, depending on how long you want to wait, if you want to wait like towards the later end of the 2 weeks, it has since been reconsecrated, and there is an active member of clergy working within the temple once again, and its doors are open.
I think I would go towards the end after, I'm going to learn a little crossbow. The way home, I'm going to get distracted and, maybe strangle Call Girl. And then, next week I go visit the temple. That sounds like a good vacation to me. Okay.
So, yeah, you can either go to that temple or you can go to the Temple of Akris.
The cemetery with me?
There is a cemetery. Now, it's not quite
what is the other temple?
It's not quite a temple, but the Temple of Akris. We lost Brevrak, but that's all right. The Three Flames is more like you. None of you have been there yet. As far as you know, it's more of a judiciary kind of branch of Port Torona, and they may or may not be the ones responsible for hanging and executing you if you were to be caught. So I'm assuming you don't want to go to that one.
No. Go to the Temple of Boel.
Okay. So, give me a wisdom saving throw, Zaltkar, as you try to pass through the doors.
Oh, yeah. I might actually make this. 16.
Okay. You do pass, Zaltkar, but you feel a unnerving shock run through your body as you pass through the temple doors, as if you did not want to enter this place, as if something was struggling. And if anybody was paying close attention, which unfortunately they're not, they would see Zaltkar's shadow flitter and attempt to rip itself from his body and escape from entering into this holy place.
Wow.
But you do pass inside, and you feel queasy the entire time you're inside the grounds itself. But and nothing else happens to you.
There's a clergy inside?
There are acolytes. There is, in fact, a new priest.
Can I talk to the priest?
Sure. You are looking at a older bugbear, female, and yes, my child, may I help you? Do you require? And she looks at you.
Priestess.
And her eyes go wide, Zaltkar, as you recognize her clutching her holy symbol.
Been through an experience recently.
What do you want? This is a place of healing. I mean you no harm.
Seek answers to.
She starts looking around for people nearby. Flee this place! And she pushes her holy symbol toward you, and I need you to make another wisdom saving throw, Zaltkar.
This is getting awesome. Oh, critical save. 24.
As she presents it, this like vase on a necklace, some of the water splashing onto you. There's a bit of a sizzle as it touches your person, but you do not run. You kind of grunt it, and though you don't feel great, you are not forced to flee. Send for the guards! Send! And you see that there's people nearby getting visibly like, oh, and people are looking towards you. What are you doing, Zaltkar?
What am I doing? Interesting question. Are there guards coming yet?
There looks like there's people beginning to move towards the door. So there will be shortly.
So I'm going to be slightly confused because, obviously Zal isn't sure what's happening to him. He came here for answers. This bitch trying to throw some holy water in my face. What's going on? So I give her a really good looking over and make towards the door. And as I do, I turn into her. Like I'm going to, morph into her and leave.
Okay, as you leave. I'll say as you do so, as you kind of pass through the door and leave, she's very shaken, holding her breast. They've moved most of the people that were inside praying and giving offerings to Boel. Some of the sick being healed have been quickly picked up and moved by several of the acolytes. And there are many guards coming, Clan White Shroud guards, as you, looking as a priestess of Boel, you move past them, looking somewhat disturbed as they pass right by you, and you're able to slip out into the crowd with nothing else happening.
There you go. I know something bad's happened to me.
However, Zaltkar, after this event takes place, and we'll say that happened probably like the day or the next, either the next day or the day after that, after your resurrection.
Mm-hmm.
And you feel a vibrating from your pouch, and it is your sending stone.
Yeah, I'm gonna talk to my sending stone.
You bring it up. My hound, is everything okay? We had word that you had fallen.
I've been awakened.
What did this mean?
I found myself surrounded by my party. Broken pieces of sarcophagus. Some worm of an animal apparently trying to control me. Skeletons, zombies. Struck him down with the power of Elysia, and the power came back and burned me.
It's quiet. Zotkar, you did not say this to me. Don't go back to the scrolls until I call you again.
I don't know what has come to me.
It's quiet. Be safe, my hound. Be safe. And that's all you get. As your master sounds very distraught after what you just said. And that is where we are going to pick up now, as all of that has taken place. And the 2 weeks has passed. Brevrak apparently is out loading a ship, perhaps.
Died.
Working on his guns, doing a little bit of lifting. Shirtless, of course. Showing off that like 12 pack because why not? You have 12 abs. I mean, you're a damn hobgoblin. Who cares? I don't know. Whatever. It doesn't matter. But he is currently not here. However, the rest of you are. And as I've stated before, the party has discovered that some killings have taken place. As well, you've gotten several key points of information. All of you are within the confines of the Crooked Plank with Din at the bar. It is earlier in the day. All of you erase all of your exhaustion. If you haven't done that already, get rid of all that. Get your health topped off. And you will be... interesting note here, as Dayu. I'm going to assume Dayu, you're kind of hanging out kind of near the door for some reason, kind of looking out. And Zotkar, Rogar, Atlas, you guys were all at the bar with Din. And a bugbear, I believe. Let me make sure. Yes. No, excuse me, a half-orc woman comes walking into the Crooked Plank around midday. She's wearing a slimmer kimono. Now, what has taken place in the port since last you took your rest? The only major event besides the killings was you missed the Cleansing Festival, which takes place on the 13th of Bolahe. It is now the 18th of Bolahe, 2 days before Sowing, which is another holiday. The Cleansing Festival is a holiday celebrated by followers of Boel in particular, and a lot of other just general people just perform this rite. It is a washing away of the sins of the flesh and purifying the soul. Usually through bathing at the temple. There is a almost like an altar set up, and you take turns getting bathed within the holy waters. All of this took place. You guys can have participated or not. It's up to you. But
I want to give my vigilant blessing to Pat.
Okay.
At some point.
All right, that's fine. We'll just remind him whenever that.
I know he's not with us, but yeah.
Yeah. So, Dayu, this half orc, comes walking in, and Din looks up, and you can tell that she is in a slimmer kimono. First off, let's roll for weather real quick. It is now officially spring, and it is lightly raining outside. So she's slightly damp. Her hair kind of slicked back. Her hair is actually buzzed along the sides and the back. It's just kind of a top thing that comes down into a long braid. She appears to have what looks like a small hammer for a weapon, kind of tucked into her side. And you do see a tattoo exposed along the upper portion of her collarbone here, just a little bit sticking out, Dayu. And it resembles a claw from a bear, like a bear's paw. And you would recognize this tattoo as a tattoo of the Mar. And as she's looking around, she spots you. Are you the one they call the Saint?
Depends who's asking.
I am Duna of Clan Giant's Blood. Vern has a message he wants me to deliver.
What is it?
He would like to meet with you, if possible. He would like to meet with you soon, in fact. Now, if you will.
Just me?
You can bring whoever you wish.
I might have followed you or go on my own.
It's up to you. He will. Have you been yet to the Devil's Market?
Been outside of it.
Well, then you know where to look. You will have free passage through the Stone Throws shipping, and he's expecting you.
You can tell him I'm coming.
Good. He'll be glad to hear it. She turns around, her kind of muscular frame. She is a little bit shorter than you, and she moves in the direction of the shipping company down the street.
Walk up to the bar where I assume everybody else is probably sitting.
Yeah. Din's sitting at the bar. Well, the damn samurai you brought me's been doing good work. Been getting the supplies in a little bit faster.
Yeah, that's nice. I'm gonna go avenge Tuk Tuk.
The little one. What happened? Who was that?
Somebody from Giant's Blood. Giant's Bane. Blood. Giant's Bane.
Be careful, Dayu. Be careful. Vern is known to be sly.
Yeah. I picture him walking into a den of wolves.
And he looks to Rogar. You should go with him.
Of course. Small one was taken too early from our hunting party.
Atlas,
you can
Zalkar.
come if you want. Zal, you might be interested in this.
Indeed.
I would love to serve.
Zalkar,
Yeah.
do you drink?
I have in the past. It's not. I'll take sake with my friend Rogar.
Do you have a sake right now?
Let's say I do. I would
Okay.
be sipping at the bar.
All right. Taking sips. Zalkar, you will know that you do not taste anything.
I was about to ask you about if I had a dinner the other day and that probably didn't taste anything.
You have no sense of taste. Yeah, you cannot taste any food.
Can I hold my breath for 10 minutes?
You can hold your breath for a long time.
Maybe I'm not exchanging oxygen right now.
That's awesome.
And, I will say, as well, Zoltkar, you might have a bit of a certain weakness, a vulnerability to uncooked meat. And you might like your food raw from here on.
The food I can't taste will need to be raw.
You can, however, taste it when it is raw and bloody.
Ah, I see.
Just throwing it out there. Zoltkar.
Yeah.
Okay. So just moving forward, keep that in mind.
Yeah.
So are we moving to Stone's Throw shipping?
Yeah.
So,
all right.
Roger, along the way as we walk and talk, is going to be. I've heard of this Vern. He used to be the small one's master. Is that correct?
He's what you call Big Chief, Rogar.
Big Chief, your Eldrin. Are they allies? Are they? Would Rogar know that? Would Rogar know that they're fighting? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe not.
If not, I'm about to mention it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If he mentions that they're fighting, does Eldrin know that we are venturing forth to what are we doing? Are we going in and trying to slay this Vern? I thought the killer was a small goblin.
The small one's the one I'm looking for. If Vern wants to draw blood, then that's his choice.
I would be happy to see that hooked goblin split in two.
As for Eldrin, I don't care if he approves of it or not.
Oh. Robert is taken aback from this as his exactly his society. You don't kick the orders of his big chief Amu. It doesn't seem. This is shocking revelation.
It sounds like this tuk wouldn't bow to others either.
Oh God.
Did it, and that's why he died.
I thought that was why you're going. Why you're going after the bad guy?
I'm different than Tuk.
Well,
but you're probably right.
That's what we are. Walking and talking. You guys all make it to the Stone's Throw shipping. Very large warehouse. Doors open. It is midday, and it is lightly raining outside, so you guys are kind of cloaked up a little bit, at least. There is quite a few guard on patrol. However, most of their attention is not on this area of the docks. It's almost as if there might be an unspoken word to not venture too close to a certain shipping company. So there appears to be a travel pattern that avoids this area. And so there will be no checks needed to be made to move stealthily. As you make it to this warehouse, you see that there is a collection of Mar members, very obviously Mar members, in their low-cut kimonos. Most of the men have swords and varied armaments on their person. Some of them even have tattoos exposed, despite it being midday. There appears to be a significant increase in their numbers since the first time you guys all came here, which was the initial coming here when you all first came to Port Dorona. And most of them appear to have a different branding tattoo. It appears to look like a lightning bolt almost. And Dayu, you would know this as the Storm's Lash. And they are a gang under the purview of Clan Giant's Blood that apparently are not only now working as they usually offer protection around the docks and especially within the Devil's Market, but now they're also picking up the slack where the bloody hooks are no longer to be seen as far as you can tell. You do not see a single hook. As you move to enter, the half-orc, Duna, spots you. Yes, this way.
As Rogar is walking, he's trying to gauge the numbers and strength of combatants that
sizing them all up.
You have faced similar individuals in the past. These kind of like thugs of the Mar. None of them in particular so far look overwhelmingly strong that you've passed by. You've passed by a few goblins, the odd bugbear, and more hobgoblins than not. And they appear to be of a lower grade stock, nothing too beefy. However, they do have numbers. You pass just up here. You're passing by at least 20, 30 more members. And they're all going about their business, moving stuff around this warehouse. Some of them just kind of like standing guard, kind of moving around, making patrols as it was. Mm-hmm. They all look on edge. A lot of them do. As you make it to a set of boxes that obscure a descending set of stairs that lead down underneath the docks that should, from all appearances, look like they should be leading into the water, but you don't see any water. You just see stairs moving down into the earth. Duna motions for you to come. It's well lit down here. There appears to be candle lights down towards the bottom, and there is a very large hobgoblin standing at the bottom. And at the bottom, there is almost like what looks like an opaque shroud that leads to an opening, almost like a door-like opening at the bottom. And it looks like he's the gatekeeper. He's standing guard here. She calls out, Ukror, I bring the saint and his companions to see Vern. And he kind of looks the four of you over. Thought there were 5. The other one's busy. He might join them later, I'm sure. Fine. Keep it civil, all of you. It looks like he has a very, very large mace on his hip. And there are strange symbols etched into it. It's completely round. There are no spikes or anything, but there are almost glowing symbols along the rounded portion of it. And he steps to the side. You may enter. I'm assuming Dayu's leading behind Duna. What is the marching order? Dayu, then who else do we got?
I'll be at the very back.
Zolkar in the back.
Yeah, I guess I'll be right in front of Zolkar.
And then Rogar?
Sounds good. Be behind Dayu.
Okay. As you all begin to move down, Zolkar's in the back, correct? Zolkar, as you move down to the shroud itself. And as you pass through the shroud, you're instantly hit with the smell of blood. Give me a charisma saving throw, Zolkar.
Am I going to have to take some charisma, you say?
Yes.
Oh, that's good. 17, 18.
Okay. you do resist. You feel an urge, and not just your mouth begins to salivate, and the small enlarged canines that Zaltkar appears to have developed, though he stays masked so no one else has noticed, begin to almost shift a little bit. In addition to this, Zaltkar, you feel the shadow, the dark passenger, we'll call it, begin to shift and buckle beneath the chains you kept it stowed away with. And you keep
I'm
it.
gonna name him Eddie.
It is not Eddie.
Name is Eddie Brock, like Venom.
As that happens, none of you smell this blood. I'll say that. It is musty down here. There are incense.
Somebody cooking. Smells delicious.
It's very dark, despite some of the lights and things. There are like a mass of stalls, almost like a merchant square. And this space is huge. It's massive. There are people trading and buying and selling things that would not be seen or sold above ground. Bizarre things, ancient relics. You see magic items being passed to and fro. You see, at some point, you even see slaves being sold to various individuals of all creeds, of all sizes. Rogar, you even see a blue dragonborn working a stall down here, and he appears to be selling what look like eggs, and he claims them to be dragon eggs. As you guys are walking by, you're gonna and Duna, come quick, we don't need to dally. And she is moving through the market itself. You've seen all kinds of sights and sounds.
Does the blue dragonborn catch eyes with me?
He does. Yes.
Okay.
You're significantly bigger. I'll say this. He's a normal sized dragonborn. Mm-hmm. So he's like 6 feet tall. He's not almost 8 feet tall. And he doesn't have horns. He's not heavily muscled either. Matter of fact, he has robes on his person. Very, very dressed for almost like a hotter environment.
Yeah.
As he sees you, another of my kind, I see.
Rogar is deeply entranced and wants to talk, but gets the feeling that I guess Atlas probably like bumps into him and he's and probably keeps on moving along. He does kind of like walk by and stare at his wares and
come back when you can.
Perhaps we will talk later.
Of course.
Yeah.
As the four of you move deeper, you come to a small, it looks like an open a room that then, as you pass through a small entryway, there is a large red velvet curtain that Duna moves to and kind of peeks inside. And then you see her nod and then holds it open and motions for you to pass. As Dayu, Rogar, Atlas, and then Zaltkar all pass into view, you see before you a large, very well muscled and toned bugbear lounging amongst what looks like a booth like made out of pillows. And there is a small table that would, if you were standing, this would be almost at like knee level. But as he's kind of sitting there lounging, he has what appears to be a large bone with some kind of meat on it that he's just kind of chewing and gnawing on. It looks almost rare. Vern himself.
Can Zaltkar smell the rare meat?
Oh yes, and this is the smell that you've been smelling, Zaltkar. It's strong now as he's chewing on it. Vern himself is not only large, but he has no shirt on. He has almost a bluish kind of fur, like skin as well. And there are elaborate swirling tattoos across his entire body, as if the fur is part of it. They depict crashing waves with tentacles tracing in and out of them. There's also so the tattoos are blue. The rest of his fur is like black color. Wherever the tattoos are, it's almost like a bluish color. He has very over enlarged tusks, and there is a massive club, a two-handed club, lounging next to him. That as you all kind of enter into the room with it, it exudes an aura of bloodlust. And Zaltkar almost finds a kinship with this weapon as you your attention is drawn towards it, Zaltkar. And Vern sits there chewing, his eyes darting back and forth. There are no guards in this room. Duna is outside. The curtain closes. There is a very dim brazier kind of crackling in the center of the table. Come, Saint, I've been longing for a meeting. And your friends, I've heard much. You've done much in my city, in my ports. I wish to offer you a task.
I don't work for you.
No, you don't, but maybe you will. You work for Eldrin, that leech in the fishing quarter.
I do.
Well, as you know, there was a bit of bad blood between us. I lost one of my best earners.
Who'd you lose?
You know who I lost. The Taker. Gone. And I know who did it. And I know where to find him.
Well, who did it?
Well,
where do I find him?
I think you know who did it as well. But let's just say I have mutual interest in seeing this cur be brought low. Unfortunately, my hands are a bit tied. I can't be seen dispatching members of my family. But the Saint, he could deliver a head back to Eldrin with my condolences for any slight that may have been thought of.
So you want a member of Knight's Blossom to openly kill a member of Giant's Blood and not provoke a war?
I promise you there's no war. I want peace. Have you not seen what's been happening outside? The city's on the verge of collapse.
I've seen your bloody hooks are all gone too.
Huh. I want them all gone for good.
Well, is that the payments? His head?
Oh, no, of course not. This is the payment. He tosses a sack onto the table. Spills open. Gold pieces just scatter across the table. You get this now. And I might have, let's just say I'll owe you a favor.
Be interested to see what that will be.
Whatever you want. Whatever I can deliver. Within reason.
Where is he at?
Well, last I found him. As you see, I have much to worry about these days. I can't be sending my forces willy-nilly around the city. He was at the Salty Bosom. Maybe you can pick up his trail there. He since disappeared after, despite the little shit not being as capable as I last remembered, he has killed every single person I have sent after him.
That's not been good enough.
Obviously not. Maybe the Saint will do better.
Does it matter how it's done?
No, it doesn't matter. Just make sure he's dead. And I will need some kind of proof, Dayu.
You'll get your proof.
Good. A favor, the gold. And if you do a good enough job, if you keep this within the confines of our agreement, maybe I'll have future work for you.
We'll settle for a favor for a favor.
It's a deal then.
I'll get your man.
Good. You. He looks towards Zolkar. Care for a bite? And he holds out the hawk of bloody meat. And you see him smile.
Yeah, I take a swipe at that leg, and as I take a bite off of it, nice club.
Yeah, as you grab a hold of it,
That's weird.
why don't you give me a... What would this be?
Man offers you a bite of meat, you take a bite of meat.
But
raw meat?
Don't want to be rude. I'm not trying to be rude.
But
Yes, raw meats. I love it.
however,
Doesn't seem raw to me. Is the way.
let me see what kind of... I'm trying to think of what kind of check I should give for this.
Constitution.
Yeah, give me a Constitution check. We'll see if you don't viciously tear into this.
21.
Okay, you do keep your composure, Zolkar, despite you like craving this. As you bite into it, it's sweet,
Delicious.
succulent.
I haven't
It
tasted
is-
anything in 2 weeks.
It's delicious as you
Yeah.
kind of sink your teeth into it, and you have to kind of move your mask up, which
Yeah.
does somewhat dissipate some of the illusion.
Yeah.
As you see Zolkar bite into this ham hock, and you see the smile on Vern's face wide, and it's wide,
Oh, he's like, oh,
almost
I got this
wider,
guy.
like creepily wide.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, glad to see you like it. I can have work for you.
Delicious.
If this doesn't work out with with your companion here, I'd like you back. There'd be more where that came from.
This is very good.
Keep it.
I'll just keep eating.
All right. You're gonna keep it?
Oh yeah, thanks.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Delicious.
All right. And he kind of sits back and reaches down, and you see him dig next to him, and then he pulls out another leg.
Bag of holding full of ham
And
hocks.
he just kind of starts eating again, ripping the meat off, guzzling it down raw.
Rogar looks at the other members of his party to see if they are disturbed by this.
Moment.
It doesn't understand what's going on. You know?
Yeah, Dahlia would, because this is weird because it's raw meat that a hobgoblin is eating. So Dahlia would like turn and look back to Atlas.
Yeah, I definitely would be looking.
Like give him like the this fucking guy over here.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, you guys all see this happen, and Zolkar continues to eat. Are you guys leaving the room, or are you gonna sit here and chow down?
If conversation's over, Dahlia's
I feel like
leaving.
it's probably, I feel like it's just the best piece of cooked meat I've ever had.
Oh yeah, Zolkar. You're composing yourself. You're ripping pieces of it off, eating it.
Oh yeah.
You guys turn to leave. You exit out of the room, and Duna, the half orc, is standing there. Well, did any of you collect the bag of gold?
Yes.
You'll notice there are 100 gold pieces inside this sack. A king's ransom for this task.
That's one plate.
Oh yeah. Vern has allowed you to shop if you'd like within the market.
Yes, I have a friend who might want to talk to that Dragonborn.
Of course. As you guys begin to move, Zaltkar, you're still eagerly eating this leg. Zaltkar,
I provided visual aid.
you bite down. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You bite down, Zaltkar, and you feel something chip your tooth, and you look down,
Oh,
and what the fuck is that? And you kind of look closely where you've torn away the meat. It looks like there is looks like there's a piece of metal on the bone, and there's pins in it. Give me a medicine check, Zaltkar.
oh no. Oh, what have we here?
You can give me advantage on this.
Okay.
You familiar with this kind of stuff?
Well, it's not much. It's just a 9.
Okay. With a 9 even. The size and shape of this bone. This is someone's leg. And that is where we're going to end tonight's episode. Whispers from the Stars.
I want a good shopping session.
Ooh, yeah,
my
shopping.
gosh.
The best episode.
Shop.
Shopping.
I can't wait for Brevrak not to be there for the shopping. Shop.
Brevard, look at all the sweet stuff we got.
Look at all the stuff we got. Oh man, you left early. Oh damn.
Oh,
What
you're
happened?
unloading boxes?
Oh.
He tried to make it a shopping episode. He tried to go shop for
He
a
did.
Too
new
bad. Too
That's,
bad.
that's peasant work.
Who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen? But man, hell of an episode,
gosh.
guys. Rogar's
Yeah.
back. You know,
I'm back, kind of.
back in the action, kind of.
Rogar's gonna get to talk to a blue dragonborn.
Talking Blue
Yeah, I
Dragon
know.
Ball.
Yeah.
So, oh man, I wasn't expecting Rogar to be back. So this is exciting. It was good. Good. I liked it. You did miss the combat. We'll discuss it afterwards. So catch you up. But it was awesome. Just so you know, it
Turned
was
out
awesome.
pretty good.
But man, awesome episode, guys. Awesome episode, guys. Good cliffhanger. You know, mild cannibalism. What the? I mean, come on. What'd you expect? But yeah,
I mean,
awesome.
was it a
guys.
hobgoblin?
It was humanoid for sure.
Yeah.
We'll just call it humanoid.
Yeah.
So,
Dan's a strangle hobo.
and,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's some stuff going on.
Oh
There's
yeah.
some stuff going on. So, favorite moments for the night, though. We always do it at the end of the night. So let's start with, we're gonna start with our paladin, our devoted dark passenger that is Zaltkar.
That's right. Our pal the paladin.
Mm-hmm.
One Zal. Our pal Zal the paladin.
How's out?
Pal Zal. He is turning into the dark abyss apparently. I think that's realizing that why you might not want this newfound power that you've gotten.
Mhm,
when you can smite down with critical accuracy and it nearly burns off your arm, Infinity Gauntlet style. It's probably not good. But it's fun. It's fun coming back from the dead.
He's back though. You're back. So
Surely that doesn't mess people up at all.
yeah, what's
Come
bound
back from the
inside of
dead
him?
twice
Who
all the
knows?
time. It's no big
Who
deal.
knows what it actually is? It's
Yeah.
fine.
Right. Especially when you just give over to it to see what happens.
Yeah, just to see how it goes. I don't know
Oh, murder.
what bad
That's
thing could happen.
happens.
Oh wait, I killed someone.
I killed someone.
Yeah,
How bad can it go?
how bad could it go? So, Dayu,
Ooh.
favorite moment, sir.
Timestamp it because
Timestamp
my favorite moment is going to be a future moment when
Oh.
Zal inevitably fails his charisma save and we
He's
have to
one
kill
of
him.
my party.
Oh,
Ooh,
shit.
it's gonna be. I will say it's gonna be interesting.
He's
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
fail that save, he's gonna attack one of us, and we're gonna have to
be
put him down.
So
Guys,
don't worry,
let's
I've got
move
stuff
until
Hopefully
we
prepared.
start the day
Atlas.
we
I want-
started.
I
I'll
want
have to
Atlas
cast
shine
Turn
his-
Undead.
Oh,
to
I
shine his
forgot.
lantern on him, and he just explodes.
I did
I'll
forget
cast Turn Undead
Zalkar.
on him.
Yeah.
You lost 4 points of sanity. I forgot to tell you that.
Oh,
So
dang.
you can make a
Oh,
note
like
of that.
4
Um,
That's a lot.
points of sanity.
Oh, it's a lot. Yeah, you're
Yeah, that
possessed
is-
by
Sounds like a lot.
a strange creature, and you died. So yeah, he's lost 4 points of sanity.
So I've
For
got an 11 now.
You're down to 11. It's fine.
That's a
You're
zero.
still above
Fine.
me. That's crazy.
Don't worry. Don't worry. It'll all come back.
Fine, right?
Had
Everything's
you
fine.
lost? So had anybody lost sanity?
I don't think so.
No, I don't.
I have lost sanity before.
How much?
By 1.
Okay. Well, you can recover 1 sanity for the break.
Okay.
For
All
the
right.
extended rest, you can recover 1 sanity if you had lost any.
Yeah.
Oh, so like it's gonna take a while for me to get.
Yeah.
this
So
back
you
if I
so
do.
you can go up. I'll let you go up to 12 as all car. That's fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, what? I'm perfectly sane being possessed.
Perfectly sane. Yeah.
More sane
Regardless,
than me,
though.
apparently.
Oh yeah. Well, it might go worse for Zolkar soon. Don't worry. But Atlas, favorite moments of the night, Mr. Evie?
Well, I think, I don't know how you guys feel, but we should all throw in for Dan to buy a couple lottery tickets because dude rolls amazing all the time and we can all see it. So it's not like he's
True.
BSing. We
True.
see it pop up on our screen. He just rolls amazing. And I'm being serious. Dan, I will give you money to go buy a lottery ticket and we'll all split it.
It never works
also,
when it's
Anthony also
when
rolled
I don't-
amazing. He,
I was
But we're
rolling good this
recording
session.
he
Yeah.
critted multiple people.
I did. I
We are
critted
recording.
multiple times.
Okay, then each one of y'all buy one.
No.
Let's
Not
all
usually.
throw in and then we'll split it. Anyway,
It's an
uh,
but favorite moment though?
favorite moment. Sorry, yeah. I wrote down Dan's name like 4 times.
Mm.
He killed my dog named Betsy by being a strangle hobo. I had a dog
Mhm.
named Betsy, but the
Damn.
strangle hobo thing was funny. Just the whole like last, I don't know, 20-30 minutes or whatever. Dan chewing on the Zalkar chewing on that human's leg and find out it's a human. Yeah,
Well,
just
maybe.
the last 30 minutes of the episode were awesome.
Mm.
So thank you, GM Thick, for writing that, and that was great.
Of course. It wasn't quite planned, but to each his own. Speaking of not quite planned, Jumbo Smooth, favorite moments of the night. You missed the end of the
Man.
fight, but
Hey, I got taken over, so it
yeah,
seemed
it's
like
true.
a good opportunity to
Mhm.
handle business here. But the favorite part moments, I guess, that I was part of, I think it probably was a lot of the lore stuff that we got, whether that be like the information that you learned about Clan Dreamweaver and Ember and how it possibly is guarded by Drow. Information on Sensu and apparently a pupil of some sort, perhaps.
People of some sort.
I really enjoyed that kind of stuff, the lore stuff that we got to unravel a little bit and hopefully solve some more
It's all some
cases.
mystery.
Exactly. Finish. Check off some of these mission boxes. It feels like they just keep on piling up.
They are piling us.
And
I need
Avenge
TNT.
Tuk.
Avenge Tuk. You
Or
just
Avenge Tuk.
took a hit out for Slack,
Yeah.
leader of
Yeah.
the Bloody Hooks. So we'll see how that goes.
Love that part.
Yeah,
Now
we'll
you
definitely.
saying going after this bastard.
Yeah, I can't wait for this
Great.
one-on-one fight with Dayu and Sleck.
I don't
Um,
expect it to be one-on-one.
I expect
now
it to be
he's-
one-on-one after
now
you
he's
made that
husband to a
announcement.
murder
Slack,
wife.
Slack's gonna, cheat.
So we
It's
got
gonna
we
be
got
cheating.
No,
Bastard.
well, so are we though.
So yeah. Me personally, I definitely enjoyed tormenting Dan and
What the
forcing
hell
this
was it,
horrible
torment,
curse
really?
upon him, and being able
It's a reoccurring
to
thing.
to do that exactly. So
Is it a curse if I asked for it?
I don't know. Is it? It's kind of weird. I don't know. I feel like you might be a masochist, Dan. I don't know. but yeah. So
I think it's called a fetish now.
Fetish.
If you ask
Fetish.
for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
That's true.
It is
true.
But
Kink
man, yeah, no kink shaming.
No
kink
shaming, bro. No
It'd be fine.
shaming.
It'd be fine. I definitely enjoyed most of those interactions. Especially, I did not expect you guys to roll that well for your endeavors. You guys found out a lot of stuff. Like, I felt like I took a big lore dump all over you guys today.
No, that was
Did you
fantastic.
leave the mic on while you did it though?
I did. I left that
You
mic
did.
on. I'm gonna tell someone to close the door next time.
Close the damn lore door.
But yeah, little inside joke. But awesome,
He's
guys.
not here.
He's not here. He's not here to.
It's
he's
still
not here
funny
to
regardless.
suffer through it. So
Yeah,
he'll never watch this, so it'll be fine.
Nope.
He'll watch it.
But to all of you guys
People
out
watch
there,
it, yeah.
you know, this has been Emberfell Whispers from the Stars. Thank you very much for watching,
I'll watch it.
and we are looking forward to seeing you in the next one. Have a good day.